Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us for our third and probably final episode of this Mothership adventure. Um, we only planned for three, so depending on how well people do, maybe we'll see, or how poorly, I suppose.
Could be the quickest episode yet.
We do have poor Justin on his last legs, trying to put on a brave face for the rest of the group, but the heat has really gotten to him. Luckily, though, just as we ended last session, I said the suns were setting, but I was sort of hand waving things because sunset wasn't the important part. It was the blistering heat and monsters that we faced last time that was the issue. What's really going on is not that the moon is rotating such that the suns are setting, but that the moon is moving around behind the gas giant that it orbits into conjunction with the other two suns. So it's passing into the shadow of the gas giant. So it's really more like the suns are hiding behind the gas giant. But it was easier just to say sunset was happening. But this is where we left it. The guys were sort of in a little declivity in the cliffside that they found, where they found a little bit of a puddle, some mushrooms, so they were able to get some food and water, replenish themselves, and have a rest as the sky darkened. So we pick up basically just after, we'll still call it sunset, because with the group sort of like peeking out of the little sheltered place, they no longer have to hide in the shade. The stars are coming out. There's a bit of coolness coming. The temperatures are starting to drop, and one of you notices, eeny meeny. Easier just to grab a dive and try to. Okay, Justin notices, probably because you're out trying to, keep your distance from the rest of the crew so they don't know you're about to fall over.
I think it's pretty obvious.
Often the distance,
There were signs.
as your eyes adjust to the darkness, are like further along the cliff edge, but maybe like away from them by, hard to tell how far away it is, but not nestled right up against it. But you see the lights of what is most likely a settlement of some kind, because it's like lots of different little lights, the right color for what you would use, in a small settlement, the same sort of spread. It doesn't look like a ship or something like that. It looks like a settlement that you just couldn't see during the daylight. And then like about 90 degrees from that, like almost directly away from the cliffs, you also spot some other lights that look like, you would, as a ship engineer, would definitely recognize these as the what would you call them? Not landing lights, but the hey, I'm here lights of a life pod, blinking.
Okay.
Red, green, red, green. You can't make out how far away. It's like you can just barely spot them. They're like pretty close to the horizon. You almost miss them for a second. But, why don't you tell us what Justin does?
How far away am I from everyone else?
15, 20 feet.
Guys, come here. Look.
Oh, no.
Those are lights.
We lost it.
Look.
No.
Like a structure of some sort. I'm sure of it.
There, yeah.
You see
Wait.
it?
Why would there be? Huh.
I mean, it looks like Earth technology or something that would be familiar to us.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't really see the structures per se. You can just see the lights. So this is far enough away that you can't make out any buildings. So like over 2 miles, but in the darkness, humans can see lights like this for several miles. So it's obviously at the distance of these are they look like pinpoints of lights you can't quite see. They're not moving. Doesn't seem like they're like shifting around. just like street lights or something may be seen from a distance, or the lights of a building or something like that.
And there's a life pod, right?
And then there's a life pod off in a different direction.
I wonder if we should go for the life pod first.
I think it's more familiar.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
same
know,
with
it's not a life pod from your ship.
It could be from the previous ship.
It could be from the ship
We
that
could
left
get
Reno.
answers before the desert eats us.
You
Answers would be
can't-
nice.
Yeah, you can't really tell how far away the life pod is, so can't really give you an estimate of how long that'll take. The lights, if they're like 2-3 miles away, then it's going to take you a couple hours. Yeah. And the life pod is far enough away again that it's you would estimate probably about the same. So.
Let's split the party. And no, just kidding. Cover more ground that way.
One of you go to the city, one of you go to the life pod, one go back to the crashed ship, and the other one is going to go through that crack in the wall.
Of course. Yeah.
Cover all bases.
Justin is. I think we've got to look at that life pod. It could be from Earth.
Do you think you are up for making that trip? You don't look so good.
He's gonna die if we leave him here.
I'm gonna die I'm gonna die either way. Let's go. Come on. Maybe we can do some good before. Well, it takes a big slug of water, and kind of brushes his comb over, make sure everything's straight, and we'll start striding confidently in that direction.
Right? Yeah. The sun's not beating down on you anymore. It's actually kind of pleasant out. There's a bit of a tang in the air, a bit of maybe some humidity collecting up now that the temperature isn't quite so high. So it's actually kind of pleasant. There's a breeze coming down as you get away from the cliffs. You can feel the air is like coming down off the cliffs and then running out into the desert, and sort of a breeze at your back. Blowing you forward, and it's a reasonably pleasant walk. The rest of you can spot the lights now that he pointed out of the life pod, just sort of blinking in the distance. I will remind you that you tried searching for signals when you were down here, when you first crashed, and didn't pick anything up. So it may occur to you that that's odd that you didn't pick up any signals from the life pod, but it could just be that it was damaged.
I'll make sure to mention that to the group real quick.
Yeah.
And actually, I will just clarify for the group what is on my USB stick real quick, just so we understand what I pulled from the confines of the ship, so we all know exactly what's on the same page. We're not totally here by mistake, but I don't think we were supposed to be here in totality. I think this was a mistake within a planned action that deviated from our original one. We were supposed to head this way, and someone input something on our ship, like a code or like a command that said turn right here instead of keep going. And so we turned right, but then we got hit by fucking a meteor shower or something, and we were supposed to meet up with something else. That's what the droid had on it from what it found, that we were supposed to meet up with something else because of this new directive.
Right. Yeah. It looked like a signal was received with like new destination coordinates, and the ship altered course and started flying here. And then there was the timed timer that woke up the docking pilot, and various shenanigans that went on and got recorded in terms of the android and what he was doing, or it was doing, I guess. It was sort of androgynous.
Justin, it's just, I know it's a light, and I know it looks like a life pod, And it could just be that the thing's damaged, but when I did a scan for SOS and signal and anything, I didn't pick up anything. And I didn't pick it up from that thing back there, and I didn't pick up anything from this thing here.
Whatever's here doesn't want to be found, then.
It could be that it's just damaged, but it could be that the ship wasn't able to recognize it. It's a different frequency, different code. You need something special to find it. Maybe it is trying to be hidden, but I don't think we should go running into it with open arms, just assuming it's like human tech. So we can walk, but I think we got to be cautious on our approach, because we're so fucked, man.
Or we could just sit here and wait to die. That's another option, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we're gonna just fucking sit here and suck our thumbs until we run dry. Like, I'm just saying, like, you're kind of on the last leg of the whatever fucking alert old people necklace things do, and I'm just saying we might not want to send you over the edge or any of us over the edge. So I'm totally down to fucking approach the thing. 10 toes. But I'm just saying that, like, once we get within, like, I don't know, a mile of it, it's not like we're going home to see our fucking wives, guys. Like, it's something else out there, so.
I am not married.
Damn.
Neither am I. It was kind of figurative.
Okay. So push on to the life pod or turn right toward the settlement? Or go back to the old crash?
I think life pod, I don't want to encounter alien city just yet.
Francis,
if I'm going to get eaten by a cannibal, I'll do that later.
Okay, yeah, by that logic, it's more likely that the life pod is the human than the...
Yeah, fair.
Ska.
Yeah, no, Francis picks up his poking stick and he's ready to go.
Don't
Okay.
poke anything.
All right, heading toward the...
If it pops out at me, I'm going to poke it.
As we walk along,
You remember what happened last time you poked something?
Hush! Voice in my head.
who are you talking to?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
The stress is starting to build up.
A little bit.
As we walk, Seaman will just keep an eye on Justin, just kind of stick close by, just in case he like stumbles or misses a step.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
my name. Don't wear it out.
Yeah, it's fairly smooth going. The sand is, just like what you walked across before. There's little dunes, it rolls. It's like a dune sea. And you can feel the wind coming down off the cliffs picking up, and it feels a little cooler, like maybe a front's coming through. After you've been walking for probably about an hour, you hear one of the survivors who's sort of straggling along behind you. Just to, remind everyone, you have 2 survivors that you managed to pull out of the wreckage. One of them screams, and the stream gets like cut off kind of short, but it sounds weird, like they suddenly left the ground.
Oh no.
You hear the other survivors like, wait, what was that? Where did Charlie go?
Not Charlie.
Justin looks up and you think you see like a shadow pass across the stars, but it's hard to say. Quite dark out.
I hate this place. I hate this place.
Should we run or just like hold hands and hope that we can pull each other if it comes at us?
Don't run. Holding hands is a good idea.
All right, everyone, single file, hold hands, and a little bit more pep in our step.
Okay. Watching the skies, I assume.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And somebody is watching the direction that you're going in.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you see a couple more of these shadows like pass across the stars. You're really sure that something, but you couldn't quite make out the shape.
Great.
And then let's see which one of you gets attacked. Francis. As you're looking up at the stars, one of these shadows sort of comes down toward you, and it's like it seems like it's getting bigger. And suddenly, this giant, like pterodon-sized flying creature swoops down out of the sky and tries, takes a swipe at you with its like back legs. Let's see here. Again, I still haven't gone around to making any sheets for these guys. So.
The power of friendship will save Francis.
All right. Yeah, it hits you. You're going to take 2 health damage as it sinks its claws into you, and it starts to try to fly away with you. Who has Francis's hand?
I'm firmly in the middle of the group, so I don't know how we want to order ourselves.
I'd say, how should we do it? If you're in the middle, should it be me, Francis, you, Justin, NPC?
I think, yeah.
Say that again, I'll write that down.
Yeah.
So I'm at the front.
Right.
Okay.
Then it's Francis.
You have taken the lead.
Botanists up front, ecologists up front. Yep.
Right, yeah. The one guy who might know something about a giant alien pterodon up front getting picked up by enemies.
So it's Ise, Francis, Simon, Justin, NPC.
Okay. All right. You got to keep that
Gripping tightly onto arms as I'm being lifted up, screaming in pain.
All right. So then Easy and Simone make body saves to try to keep Francis from being yanked out of your hands.
Yeah, Simone, make the body save.
Would it be body save or strength?
Whichever's better.
Oh, my strength. Thank you.
What's my? Oh, can I also do a strength save?
Yeah, if that's better for you.
Yeah, it looks like it is at the very least.
Yep.
I'm gonna apply hacking to the no.
A hack his arm off.
It's a kind of hacking.
What did I get? Yes.
All right.
And oh no!
Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm here.
Right. So Francis's hand just kind of like pops out of Simone. He's gotten a little sweaty, a little nervous, and he kind of lifts up in the air. And Easy, she's like, "Oh, nope, you're not going." And kind of dangling. The two of you get lifted up a little bit, and then the claws just sort of rip out of Francis's back, and he drops down on top of Easy and rolls into the dunes. He's now got sand in the wound.
It hurts.
Plotting.
Get your elbow off my boob.
Sorry. Rolls onto his stomach.
So you have confirmation that there is death from above. What do you do? You're in the middle of the desert. You're about an hour from the cliffs and probably another hour or two from the pod that you're heading toward.
Can we hide under the sand?
Oh, it's gonna hurt so much. Gonna hurt less than being eaten though.
Lying there on the ground looking up at the sky, you can see more and more of these shadows flying in from the direction of the cliff. I don't know what direction that is.
Great.
I don't know. We're not even gonna go east, west, north, south on this. Hurts my brain. From the cliff direction, there's more of them. And they seem to be coming faster. You can kind of see that the density of them increases. The farther away it is. So more and more are going to be coming soon.
Either we run towards that life pod, or like you said, we make like an ostrich and stick our heads in the sand. Along with the rest of us. Wait, could I make an ecology roll to know if that would do a damn bit of good?
Sure.
All right, worth a shot.
Like if they're bats, maybe we can hide. If they're kind of more owl-like, maybe we're fucked.
You're right.
But
having had my back torn open by one of these things,
yeah,
with
you got me convinced. Yeah, burying yourselves so that like just faces or something are showing would probably be, you know, they certainly would not be able to grab onto you. They might, you know, drop down, and peck your eyes out, but
well, into the sand.
But yeah, getting yourself buried, that's a great idea. I had not thought of that. Well, to be fair, I didn't figure out any way that you could survive. It's just, this is what's happening. They'll come up with
You said they got to come up with it.
right?
Like,
yeah, so we get a couple of, you know, you're starting to bury yourselves, and a couple more of them come swooping down and like get across you. Let's see, might hit one of the others. Yeah, there's one of them like swipes at Simone. Oh, but misses. You're too quick to get into the sand. But yeah, all right. So you guys get yourself buried. Nice. And you can kind of watch from your position as more of these things just sort of like fly over. And it becomes pretty obvious that they are probably fleeing the storm that is headed your way. You can see some lightning flashing in the distance. And it's pretty obvious that there's a storm front that is coming through.
What are the odds of getting rained on in a desert planet when you crash?
when
What are
I
the
tell
odds?
you, I immediately gut feeling of sandstorm. You said we had a breeze. I was like, we're gonna get hit by a storm.
Let's hope it's not desert rain.
That was not on my bingo card.
Oh, make a note of that.
Francis is buried like almost to his neck. His back is aflame with sand in this classic. Why would you do that?
What is matter of fact statement? Make sure to cover eyes with hands first.
The eyes are gonna melt first. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah. So you're hitting, the birds fly over you, the storm blows up, you know, the rain starts to pelt down. It's pretty hard here at the edge of the storm front. Do you want to try to ride out the storm buried in the sand, or now that the birds seem to have flown on, are you going to get up and keep going? What's your plan?
We gotta go.
We gotta not be in the sand with the storm.
Our skin is not gonna last.
Yeah. And you're muted, Tom. I think you just said something, but I didn't hear you.
Your face is covered with sand. Here, let me get it.
No, I'm not staying in the sand because the freaking lizards are there. So
Yes.
That too.
Oh, they
Clearly
probably
the
are
lizards were onto something, and this is why they hide in the sand. Avoid those things.
that's what I'm
See,
starting
we
with.
brought it all back together.
Okay.
It's a circle of life.
All right. So you get up and you're heading along. The rain is cold, and it has a sour taste to it.
Of course it does.
Stop.
And you know, after a while, you start to feel like your skin's starting to itch. It's very irritating. Mr. Ecology can probably tell you that. Actually, make an ecology check. Go ahead and use those skills. Let's see how much information you can tell them as you're trudging along in what is now becoming rapidly. It's not really mud. Sand doesn't make mud.
Jack shit.
Okay,
I'm a little bit miserable right now.
It could be acid rain. It could be something else. It definitely there's something in the rainwater that's not playing nice with your skin. If you stay in it for too long, it could be an issue. Try to keep it out of your eyes.
Duly noted.
Just sheeting down. If only you'd kept those helmets. Instead of just ripping the radios out.
Simon has like a thick, kind of like an engineer's or like a repairman sort of outfit on. So he's got like a grubby tank top, so he'll take off his jacket and kind of drape it over Justin to help him cover him
Thank
from
you.
the worst of it.
Nice. Yeah, very good. About this time, you notice that the rain is dense enough that you have lost sight of the life pod. You think you roughly know the right direction, but you can no longer see the lights. When you look for like the settlement, it's a little bit easier to spot, but it's kind of like in and out as the density of the rain fluctuates. It's either way you decide to go, it's going to be a bit iffy. Probably more iffy to keep
to the pod. At this point, right?
Say again?
Like we're closer to the pod at this point.
At this point, you're closer to the pod.
Well,
It's just
Could
the
I-
lights aren't that bright.
Could I attempt to use either Rimwise or Zero G as a way that I'm used to triangulating or at least staying on course in difficult?
Rimwise would be reasonable. It's sort of the how not to die out in the fastness of space. Catch all.
1001 Ways to Die in Space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sequel to 1001. Anyway,
So if I tied that to intellect, would that
Yeah.
be kosher? Cool.
That makes sense.
Does that
Oh.
mean anyone with Rimwise can do it?
Yes. Yeah. Rimwise just would think.
Put my
Okay.
hat in the ring.
Simone at least succeeded.
Oh, great.
If they can as well, then I think you guys can stay on track.
Okay,
Yeah,
intellect, Rimwise, normal.
2 successes.
Hey.
Yeah, so you keep going through the rain. There are a few times where the creatures, the flying creatures, some of them are still like stuck in the storm apparently, and like one of them like lands next to you, like about 10 feet away, and it's like looking around, and it's finding it a little hard to see you. What do you do when it lands?
everybody stay still. They track movement.
Are you totally sure about that?
No, but I saw it in a movie once.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Don't
Creepy
worry.
you on the creepy little wing claws. Lets out this horrible scream.
Ah!
Yeah, everybody make a what do you call it? A fear save whenever it screams at you like that to see if you jump.
Fear. Do we add
Pip's
anything to
black
this?
bird. So,
What would you say, Tom? What about a bird?
I said, was that like the pipsqueak bird?
Yeah, the pipsqueak bird.
It's an old cartoon reference. So.
Yeah.
Do we add anything to this fear roll?
No, fear saves. I mean, if you have a skill that you can reasonably use.
Could I use linguistics?
Speak the language.
This is more of a startle response. Does it scare the crap out of you and make you
You
do
know
what
what?
it's
It's all
trying
right.
to do, which is get you to move to see if you're prey?
Psychology? Probably not. I'm just kidding.
We scared,
You're
guys.
good.
We scared. Wait, Francis is not.
Holy shit! Francis is convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that he has to stay still. Movies
Right.
don't lie,
And
obviously.
it makes it work. Okay, so we've got 3 targets here who failed and just kind of like jumped enough that it triggered the prey response. All right, so it's going after Simone. It like launches itself off the ground, coming like flying right at your face, and the claws out and it's trying to, latch onto you and take
All
you back
right,
onto the
screaming at
baby.
it back did not work.
Let's see. 35 is too much. So it misses you as you like drop down to the ground in the van. The rest of you recover and like freeze in place. It circles around for a bit and then like flies off, calling out a different cry that probably is basically curses and whatever bird language it has.
That's right, fly away.
You keep moving on, getting yourselves back on track. The rain starts to lessen after a while.
Oh, thank God.
And when the storm finally passes over you, You are. I mean, it's still drizzling a bit. You got like the tail end of the stuff, but you can see again. You can see the lights of the pod. You're only like a few degrees off of the path that you needed to take. So good job with your rimwise rolls, keeping you in line. And you see that you're close enough that you can see that it is a life pod at this point. It's probably like a quarter of a mile away. You don't see any people nearby, any movement. There is, one of these birds is kind of like perched on the top of it, just kind of like looking around.
One of the birds that have been.
It definitely looks like, more like a pterodon than a bird. But, disturbingly not either one. It has a long sort of serpentine tail that's kind of like coiled around its feet like a cat would do. Actually, I guess probably looks more like a pseudo dragon than anything else. What do you want to do?
Oh boy!
So it's wrapped around the pod. This bird.
Yeah, it's like it's perched on top, and its tail kind of like wraps around its feet and kind of drapes over the pod. It's like half the size of the pod itself.
Right.
I mean, you've seen these things up close. They're huge. They're like with their wings
starting at like an egg.
out, they're like 3-4 people abreast apart.
Are there any
You do have
rocks?
No rocks. There's lots of sand, and it's wet, so you could make some like little sandball.
Not quite buzz.
Yes, let's get in a snowball fight, sandball fight.
You could, if you want to look around and see if the rain like exposed any rocks. Go right ahead. Make a luck check. Make a luck save. I believe you still have a macro for that down in the macro bar. Yeah, you find a few, like a little spot where the sand is washed away and there's some, solid rock underneath, and you can get a handful of rocks that range from like thumb-sized to, this one fist-sized one. Yeah. So.
All right. So we've already established that I've been like tearing the nice coat that I was wearing into strips. So it's like, what's one more strip? Fashion a sling for a rock.
Using an elbow pad and everything.
Right, yeah, the elbow pad will make a nice cradle for the stone.
We can get a new one in the weird alien city on this. Yeah, that's how that'll go.
All right. I believe you've got enough engineering between the four of you that you can put together a sling without having to roll for it. You did break off a shiv, from the ship, so you have something that's sort of sharp. So yeah, you can work that out. Meanwhile, you're sort of standing out in the rain on effectively a plain with nothing to hide against, as this bird is sort of like scanning around the horizon, and you're a little worried that it might spot you while you're doing this.
Can't build sling in sand.
How about somebody make me a speed check to see if you can get the sling built before it spots you?
To stall for time, could I take one of the smaller rocks and try to throw it in the opposite direction of the pod so it hopefully makes like a poof sound and is distracting?
Sure. Yeah. I guess make a combat roll at like plus 40.
Okay.
To like get it over in the general direction, and it's more of does the bird notice it and get distracted or anything. But you don't roll for monsters or stuff like that. We don't really have a
plus 40. You said? Gosh, dang.
Yeah, so you get the rock over there, but it doesn't seem to distract the bird. It kind of looks in that direction, doesn't see anything, and then keeps like scanning around. You did sort of like stop it. It was like rotating around counterclockwise. You stopped it. It's kind of like now going back in the other direction. So you maybe bought a few seconds, but not much.
I can do the speed check. I have speed 40.
So
Are
now
we
I'm,
adding anything to the speed?
We'll just use whoever is the highest. I assume you're all working together.
I get 41 for the speed.
I've got 42.
Oh,
Cool. Well,
I'm also at 20 stress now. Does anything happen when I cap it, or just now post following it?
how are you at 20 stress?
The first episode, I took on a lot of stress, and
Oh,
rolling that D4 just now really didn't do me any favors.
Oh, but you took a rest.
Yeah, we took a rest.
yeah.
How did the resting thing work?
You roll against your lowest save,
Right.
and if you lower your stress.
Oh, okay.
You fail, you gain
How
stress.
much is the question? If you fail, you gain a stress. But I mean,
Okay.
that's when you fail any check, you gain a stress.
And that's a D100 roll, yeah?
Yeah, just pick whichever one of your saves is the lowest and click that.
Okay, so that would be combat, ironically enough.
Combat's your save.
That's not a save.
Oh, so thank you.
Sanity, fear, or body.
It would be sanity then.
Oh, delightful.
Oh god, I'm rolling such high numbers. Okay.
Oh,
98.
You didn't get any back, and you actually gain a stress, if I remember correctly.
buddy.
So I am at 20 then.
Okay, yeah. So the way that works then is anytime you now take more stress, it comes off of the relevant save.
Great.
So like if you're doing something that is involving your physical activity, it'll come off your body. If you're doing something that might cause fear, it'll come off of fear.
Maybe I should do the speed check since I'm not that stressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case he's. Take a breather. Take a
Yeah.
breather, man.
Can she apply rim word to this?
Ringworm.
Nope.
Oh,
Can we-
rim-wise?
That's wrong.
Or botany.
Sure, rim-wise.
Yeah!
Rim wise. Okay, not rim word. My bad.
There we
Whoa! Not like we needed that bad boy.
Critical success.
Oh,
Yeah, so you whip this thing together, quickly, between you and Simone trying to distract it. It doesn't notice you. It's got its back turned to you, and you can sneak into it and get a thing, and you'll have advantage on your first attack with it because
Oh, I have to attack with it.
you did such a good critical. Well, not you, but y'all.
Okay, yeah.
Whoever
someone
decides
else.
to do the attack. None of you have a decent combat, so
I have a 35 or 34.
way better than me.
38.
actually Justin's got a pretty good combat, 43.
Mm.
Justin! Tag. Oh, wait, but you're stressed as fuck, man.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you think we're
I
2-0?
can try it.
All right.
Do you want?
What's your goal when you throw the rock? Are you trying to hit the thing and kill it, or
Like stun it, maybe?
steer it away, or
Drive it off.
Drive it off
Garrett.
would seem to be good.
You have advantage.
Okay.
You're gonna
So
do
Justin's going to
great.
try to hit this thing with the that big
I'm having
fist
trouble
size
hearing.
one.
So,
Okay.
do you want me to roll?
Yeah, those stupid things. Yeah, go ahead. They're asking you to make the combat check.
Yeah.
To use
yeah,
the
that's what I'm saying.
sling
I'm
and
having
hit this-
trouble hearing. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's at advantage.
At advantage.
Okay. And
Woo! All right, yeah. So it's facing away from me. You peg it in the back of the, like right in its
Come on.
back. And it's like, whoa, squawk, and like flies up. And, gets away. You probably damaged it. You might have broken a rib or something like that as well, because it was a decent rock and you hit it square on. So, but yeah, you get it to fly away.
okay.
I silently bird to the bird.
Okay, yeah. So then I assume you approach the life pod. This is a fairly standard life pod. If any of you have flown before, you might have seen it. Justin is definitely familiar with the model. It's built to hold 2 people. It's used in lots of different ships. It's not from the company that he used to work for. So different model. You could probably find the the company model. Doesn't really matter, but There's no signs of the people. Any footprints that might have... Say again?
It's a Spacely Sprockets.
Yes.
Fair use. I'm sure it's fine.
Basically, sprockets too, but it definitely looks like it was launched from something. It does seem to have some damage. There's lots of like pock marks and scratch marks and like pieces of the outside that are kind of like knocked off, like it flew through a debris field, perhaps.
Imagine that.
Maybe it was near an explosion, or didn't get away from the ship in time. It definitely took some damage on launch and landing. There, like all the antennas that would be useful for sending out signals, seem to have been like scrubbed off, knocked off.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's gonna look around to see if there's like a button or something to open it. Like, can he find the door on it?
Yeah, the door's open.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like...
All right. So I'm gonna carefully shine a light inside.
Okay. Yeah, it's empty. No sign of any actual survivors. There's like a empty food wrapper on the floor, indicating that someone was in here, not a couple of droids.
Okay. Is there any supplies in there that I could find that'd be useful to us?
No, whoever was in here took whatever with them.
Bastard. Okay.
Is there any existing technology in here, broken or functioning, that either might be handy to, like, either like a function on the life pod or something to give us more information?
There's like a good little computer and enough power left in the emergency systems that are supposed to like flash the lights and stuff that you can check into.
Hack it!
Hack it. Yeah,
There.
check it in and make a hack and roll.
So is it I click on hacking or do I click on intellect plus hacking?
Click on hacking, and then when the thing pops up,
Add
tell it
intellect.
you can handle it.
All right, Norm. Do I have advantage on this or no?
No, not really. There's
Okay.
not much in the way of hacking that you need to do.
Don't worry about it because I'm not Gyal.
Yeah, no problem. So you can get into the little computer system. It's password protected, but it's like a very loose password because it is a survival pod. So it's like it's got the password that everybody on the ship that it came from know, and they're like
Password 123.
I was literally about to say that.
They post the password right next to the thing so you can check it on your way out.
On a post-it note.
So they don't want people just accidentally hitting the button and launching. So it's a password that's like 1, 2, 3, 4. But you get into the system, and you can find the ship name. Would anyone care to name the ship it came from?
The Lucrezia.
The Lucrezia. Lucrezia. How do you spell that? Because I just wrote down Lucretia.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
Ertia.
Yeah, I wrote Lucretia, and I was like, well, that's Lucretia, not Lucrezia. Thinking there might be a Z in there. But anyway.
Like, let me like that. Yeah. Lucrezia.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's from the Lucrezia. It doesn't have any. So, like, normally when you have a life pod, it will have lots of information on, like, the ship that it came from, the, like, various logs, stuff that can, like, any stuff that would help anyone who finds the life pod to try to help people get back where they came from. All of that looks like it's been wiped or never recorded. So all it has is the ship of origin. That's the sort of thing that you Rimwise guys would know is sort of piratical.
Space pirates.
That is not good.
So now we've gone from corporate espionage to outright space piracy.
Quite
Could be
possibly.
slave
Or
trade.
some sort of shady business where they would want to hide their identity.
Which begs the question, why do they want a ship full of colonists?
There's a lot you can do with a ship full of colonists.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Look,
god.
We'll make
maybe
a
they just need
rimwise check,
people to-
or with
Wait,
advantage.
Rimwise it? Let's rimwise!
Skill of the night, guys. Let's go.
All right.
Rimwise. Intellect. Advantage. Henceforth.
Whoa.
You got advantage?
Ooh.
Yeah, I gave
Thank you,
advantage.
Oh, thanks.
Oh. Good.
A failure.
Oh no!
By one,
All
I
right.
think. By one.
Well, then, so that's you can't take stress, so that goes to probably -1 on your sanity.
All right. -1.
Like, to be fair, pirates are pretty, great on my sanity too.
Yeah.
Or my
So
fear. 6-1 might have that.
you have heard some rumors, in the in your adminical circles, like the higher ups, managers, that sort of thing, complaining about piracy and people being like transport ships like the one you were on getting waylaid, and the people being taken and kept in cryo sleep and then sold into slavery.
Yep.
And generally, the complaints are more like, they've taken our people away from us. Now we need to take some of theirs, kind of thing. Because I mean, these are corpos, and they basically are doing slavery anyway.
Mhm.
But so it could be something like that. That is not uncommon. It's hard to do because these are long haul ships, so still you got to play the long game to know. All right, they're going to be there in this many years, and we got to get over there, and So it's a very slow sort of piracy, but it is a thing that people do. So it's quite possible you were slated to be sold into slavery.
You think that they are residing in the structure over there?
It's the only
Unfortunately,
thing.
the rain washed away any track that they would have left. You have no idea which way they went.
The only place we know of from here that we have seen, unless there's something like, walk around the back of the pod and look out and see if there's another alien city in the distance or some weirdness.
The only settlement that you've seen, or civilization, I should say. We don't know that it's a settlement. It could be an alien thing. The only civilization you have seen has been those lights that you could still spot, but are now farther away.
They're not farther away?
Yeah, because you basically they were sort of
Oh.
like 90 degrees away from each other, so now you've got the hypotenuse to go across.
Sure.
We're not that much farther away, but
And is it still raining?
it's just like a light drizzle. The temperature is definitely dropping. You're soaking wet, and you're starting to get a little bit of a chill.
Any sign of those winged creatures?
Every now and then you can kind of like see like a motion in the clouds and spot one. They seem to have thinned out to the point where you feel sort of safe. About as safe as like walking through the savannah knowing that there are lions about 300 feet away from you or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Is there anything that I can either rip off the side or salvage that would make an improvised weapon?
Yeah, there are various components and pieces either inside the pod or on the outside that you could rip off and make a club or a pokey stick. There's fabric and like upholstery on the seats in there that if you want to pull out for various things. Like there's no food or water left, but you could probably do some sort of scavenging to pick something up if you want.
Sure. Would you like me to roll for that, or?
No. Well, actually, make a jury rigging check. Yeah, just to see what you can make out of the. To see how effective whatever you're trying to make is. Either you just want like a club, then that's not too hard. Yeah, you can get.
Okay, sure. That's still too high for my
Yeah, so a club or a staff or something that like just from like pieces that you can get ripped off.
Yeah, so close to a spear as possible. A
Okay, yeah.
nice long piece.
Yeah. So basically the same sort of pokey stick that Francis has.
Can I kind of grab like a piece of metal, like maybe like with a kind of like a sort of like a handle piece, just like a improvised kind of like small shield, and maybe a shiv-like thing if there's anything in the ship that could be
Yeah,
kind of
Simone, would you
shiv-like.
like to jury rig a little shield and a shiv for Izay? You can use some of the fabric from the seating to wrap the handle.
Let me
Please
see
make
what
me
they
think.
can do.
And,
Yeah, if you can use
just
the
like
pink
hatch.
wire, please.
You get like the pieces of the hatch and stuff that you can get like a handle and make some stuff.
Let's see. Yes. I believe I can. That's a success.
So this is going to take a little while to do. You guys are cold and the temperature is dropping a little bit, so I want everyone to take a body to kind of shake off the chills.
First it's too hot, then it's too cold.
This planet does not have a Goldilocks zone.
Yeah.
It's just got.
Oh shit! No, of course Justin failed. He's got a 6. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, there's another failure. Happy days.
Oh.
Body, my least capable.
All right. Not quite as deadly at this point as the heat was, so you just take the 1 stress. That is normal for the system.
Right.
Oh, great.
But
Okay.
so on a success, since I'm at 20, I still take the 1 to my body. -1.
Yep.
So it begins.
Wait, our NPC died?
No, I was just setting it to 1. It was still sitting at 2.
Oh,
Yes,
The one
but earlier.
Keels
We
over.
got to keep this one alive because when Justin kicks off, then Tom can take him over.
Right? Yeah,
Oh,
you have
damn
to
it.
have one backup character.
I've been out here being like, oh shit, we gotta send this guy at the scout for us, and if he dies, then we know not to go.
Simone's like hauling on the door trying to make a makeshift shield, and it comes loose and just bong killed the
Yeah.
NPC.
But that was the idea with the survivors, is that you guys
He died.
send them out to scout, and they could die off before you guys get hurt. But you've been all noble and shit and trying to protect them. So
I honestly forgot they were there.
right,
Wow.
I tend to as well, and then I go, oh right, that's survivor.
Well, we only got 1 left, so
Okay, so yeah, after about 45 minutes to an hour of puttering around, you've got a new spear, a shield, and a shiv for Izay. Anybody else need stuff? I know Francis has a stick, and Justin I think has a little club already. So you are beweaponed, and you have a sling and a few rocks. Since we don't know how many rocks per se, why don't we do it this way? Anytime you want to use the sling, roll a d6, and as long as you don't roll a 1, you've got a rock.
I like that.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, so what's your plan now? Did you plan
Better
9?
to do it in the dark than in the middle of the sunny day.
Yeah. I mean, if we run, we can probably escape in the dark.
What happens when we get there and we go, hey guys, you were going to sell us into slavery, but we're awake. Can we chill? Is that the plan? What's the plan?
We could just opt out.
Opt out of what?
Like, if it's like, oh, great, we just stepped into, like, Pirate Central. I mean, me personally, I'm not. I'm not doing that. So if it ends up kind of like, just not going fine to that degree.
You got a shiv now. Take a few with you.
Yeah, just constantly up the hoodie sleeve. If they're fine, I mean, we could probably put up a good fight or tussle for a while, do our whole shindig, try and be a little bit more cautious about it. I mean, I don't think any of us are the special ops unit, but,
I'm the guy they leave back at the base, advising on environmental dangers, which is just this entire goddamn moon. So
Yeah. You're gonna have so much to write about back home if we ever like make it back home.
I'm sure the academic papers will be astounding.
Yeah,
Right.
you'll finally become a professor.
My life is a shipwreck. I'm already a professor.
Uh,
Oh, even more.
Before we leave,
He looks
Q-
surprised.
oh, sorry. Before we leave, Q, you said that all the SOS that's broken off, right? There's no hope
Yeah.
of salvage or fixing. Okay.
I mean, maybe fixing. You don't really have the tools for it. I think is the biggest problem. So, in terms, yeah, you don't feel like you could fix what's wrong given the tools that you would have to build from scrap.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Not,
don't
not,
suppose.
not enough time to save you. You have no idea how long it's going to be dark, how long it's going to
Yeah.
take to pass through this moon, this planet's shadow. It could be an hour, it could be days.
Yeah. All right.
Justin, while you guys are standing around discussing what to do next, you think you hear off in the distance, sort of back toward the way you came, but like further, like between roughly where you guys were hiding in the shade and where that settlement is, a popping sound that you think might be gunfire. Just on
It's
the
the
edge of here.
Americans.
Oh, the cavalry's here.
Paul Revere. No.
And then
The first or second?
And Simone, while you guys are like, I'm guessing you're like all sort of like standing around in a circle talking. So Justin's like facing in the direction of that sound. He hears that. You're facing in a different direction, and like on a dune off in the distance, you see like a shadow across the stars at the horizon. Vaguely quadrupedal.
A shadow across the stars. Oh.
Yeah, like something just like walked across the dune and then like crested a dune and came down.
How far away?
Difficult to say. Close enough that it makes you nervous.
Big bad wolf thing. We should move.
There are wolves now.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's got to be some kind of quadrupedal land-based predator type on this God's forsaken moon. I mean, it would fit with everything else.
Yeah, but is that to be a
No.
canine? I mean, like, if you think about it.
It's
Everything else has
fascinating.
been pretty reptilioid here, so
It's fascinating conversation. Let's talk and walk, yeah.
yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the smart thing to do.
Tom, does Justin tell them about the gunfire that he thinks he hears?
Nope.
Do you try to guide them toward or away from the gunfire?
Stroke.
I follow the group.
Okay.
Can I skip this one?
Justin's just sort of like hanging on. It's like, let's just go. All right, so where are you going? Other than away from the dog-like shadow that you think you saw.
I think we should go towards the alien settlement thing.
I
Okay.
think that's fine, yeah.
At this point, maybe they have walls, and so we don't have to deal with weird dog-like shadows.
Yeah, so you walk
Maybe
along.
the dog-like shadow people live there.
Yeah, trudge
Well,
along.
then
About
it'll
an
be
hour.
an interesting conversation the last 2-3 minutes of our
Yeah.
lives.
You get to have
Maybe-
about an hour of nice conversation. You're walking briskly. It's warming you up. You're drying. You're not so worried too much about hypothermia or anything like that. The night is cool, but the clouds have passed on, and some the things are just sort of radiating all of its heat away. So things are cooling fairly rapidly. So it's still chilly. Not time to make another body save yet. But this time, you all sort of hear off in the distance, roughly in the direction of the cliffs, a sort of braying baying kind of sound, and then you definitely hear echoing back towards you. You're a bit closer now to whatever. It's still faint enough that you're still going. I think that was fireworks, maybe gunfire. Those of you with relatively low combat are just guessing. Justin definitely takes that as, oh yeah, that's definitely gunfire. Why he's heard gunfire before, I don't know, but he's got a pretty good combat. I guess if you've been anywhere near the Colonial Marines trying to save you from alien monsters, you know what gunfire sounds like.
Yeah.
So there sounds like there's some sort of
When the
creature
company sends a
in the
union
distance
bus.
that something is shooting at. Someone is shooting at them. And it's roughly in the direction that you're headed, sort of like off, might be like 5 degrees, to the right. So not exactly the way you're headed, but in that general direction. Plans at all?
Should we try and loop a little bit more towards the side so we're not so close to it?
Yes, but if they've got the guns and they're shooting the dog-like things, then maybe we're safer.
Yeah, but we don't want like the dog-like thing to be like, oh, I smell 4 snacks right now. Let me go run towards that. And then we have men with dogs and fucking Jacob, right? So if it's like to our left, maybe we could just go a little bit more right. So there's a few more degrees of safety on our side.
Worth a shot?
Okay, yeah, so you add a little time to your trip, but you swing around away from the direction you heard the gunfire from, which is perfectly reasonable. It's going to add, maybe a half hour to your trip the way you swing through. About another half hour later, as you're sort of approaching, you're like at the base of a dune that kind of like rises up to the side. It's giving you a little bit of shelter from the breeze, but Simone, you notice some sand come like sliding down the hill just before a shadow leaps towards you.
So by trying to avoid the ambush, we get ambushed.
Yeah, with a sharp bark and a slight growl. This large shape just kind of like bumps against you because you managed to jerk out of the way just in time. Kind of shoulder checks you and goes past. Slips a little on the sand and like rolls up, smashes into Francis's legs. Give me a body save to see if you get knocked over.
Yeah.
Go off,
Me
King.
too.
This is going to be hilarious.
No, Simone's okay.
Okay.
Simone is big man.
Let me see here. No, I get my ass knocked over.
Right. So this thing like tumbles, into Francis, and they go laying across the ground, and it like
Ass over TK.
right. And you can see it a little bit better now in the starlight. It's difficult to see. It's dark, sort of, not black, maybe dark gray, but it's like there's like no shine to its skin, fur, whatever. Francis, you think maybe
That's creepy as shit.
bird, or it has something on its skin. It's like not bare skin, just from your little tangle with it. You're like down on the ground, and it like gets up, and you can see from your angle that it's got 6 legs. So it's actually a hexapod.
Oh, it's a
Does it
displacer
have
beast.
Too many legs. Why does it have too many legs?
And it kind of like growls at you, and then like looks up, and like makes eye contact with something behind you up on the ridge.
Oh, I'm not going to like this.
You still have your pointy spear.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So, Simone and Francis have just gotten like swiped by these things. Izzy and Justin, you hear, of course, the racket. I assume you turn around. What do you do when you see this creature just kind of go tumbling past and spilling away from Francis?
Is it like in front of us or is it still kind of far?
It's like close enough that you could get to it if you wanted to step up to it and poke it with your shiv. Excuse me. Likewise, it's close enough that it can get to you. So it's within close range.
I'm gonna do shield up in front of Justin.
Okay, you plant yourself in front of Justin.
I would
Shield
like
and shiv.
Yeah.
I would like to plant the end of my pokey stick into like the sand and rock to brace it, and then so when it comes back at me, just pop it up so it impales itself. That's the
Phalanx.
Yeah, and I'm trying to justify physics with my combat roll.
All right. What's Justin doing?
Standing motionless in fear.
Fair.
Do you feel like you should make a panic check?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you feel like you should make a panic check?
Sure.
No, he's gonna have a stroke. I can't shield him from a stroke.
Right. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, no, you don't want to make a panic check when you're at stress of 20 because it's an automatic fail.
All right.
Well, I mean, you want to roll low.
There's really nothing he can do, Q. So
yeah.
I mean, so
You know, if you feel like he's panicking, great, roll for it. But if you feel like he's just calmly trying to make himself not a target because he knows that there's nothing he can do, then that's fine as well.
I don't think he's panicking. I think he's just numb at this point.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. You what do we call it in Delta Green? You're immune to the helplessness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Francis and Francis, Simone, and Isaiah, give me a fear save.
Fear. Show him your fear. We
Yeah.
have no fear.
Oh, all the dice.
I think I might be a little scared right now, y'all.
Oh, finally.
Hey, I made it.
Woo.
The rest of y'all don't gain a stress.
Oh, I didn't get it there.
Okay. Wait. No, I see Francis failed, Ise failed, and Simone succeeded.
Yeah, I
Yes.
thought I succeeded.
Par for the course.
It's hard to tell because they all came up
yeah,
at the same
okay.
time. But they all came up at the same time, so I can see.
My bad. When you fail a fear save, close friendly characters gain 1 stress. Sorry, guys.
So that's all of you.
Oh,
Everyone gained a stress because
Sorry.
Francis just failed his fear save. And would you like to describe how you are freaking out? Ise as well?
Nope. Just like twisting the stick, like as if it's going to protect me, like braced in, and he's just rocking back and forth in the sand. No, they didn't cover this in the master's course. Nope.
how do I fail? How do I add stress if I'm at 20? What happens?
It would go to your fear save.
Oh, so just 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like whatever overflow, whatever damage you're taking instead of going into stress goes just subtract straight from one of your relevant
I
stats.
see.
Yeah, so and I'll remind Francis that you spotted the thing look away from you and up behind you.
I look up and behind me as I'm like literally just shaking. What do I see up and behind me?
2 more forms like cresting over the dune and looking down at you.
Could I take advantage of the creature being disoriented and try to poke it with my stick?
Absolutely. Have advantage on your attack.
Strength. And I don't think I can add any of my skills to this either.
All right, let's see. Oh, we need to make up how much damage a pokey stick would do if you assume.
100.
Let's say 2.
Okay.
Okay, low ball.
Same face.
Could I get
Come
a
That's good. That's very good.
Yeah, strength save.
Success.
What'd you roll?
Strength.
No, it would be combat.
Oh, whoops.
Ooh, fuck.
I mean, it's still. Could I keep that roll and just say, "Whoops"?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we can keep the roll.
Combat.
Just need to
Okay.
check with your combat.
It would still succeed. My combat's at 38. So
Okay.
Oh, all right.
All right. So you hit it 2 damage. You definitely, you made it bleed. It can die.
Yeah.
You fear just like goes
And
right
you
into
bleed my
eye.
own blood? How dare you?
It squeals back like this high-pitched, horrible noise. Yanks back. The spear comes out. The blood sprays off of it, right across Francis's face.
It's in my mouth.
I'm trying to convince them we're not worth it.
Right, and it backs away from you. It's looking wary, like it's not going to attack right away. Meanwhile, the 2 that are up on the dune that you didn't notice come down and sweep past you and try to attack Ize and Simone. Actually, no, probably going to go for Justin because Simone's on the other side. I mean, Ize.
Can I try and stab one of those things as it leaps over me? Since I do know it's there.
Yeah, you can try to intercept it as it goes for Simone.
And I presume I don't add anything to this, just straight combat.
Yeah, just straight combat. And I will make a roll for it. This is the one trying to attack Simone. Failure.
Also a failure.
Also a failure. Okay. Yeah, so like the 2 of you sort of clash off each other. Like you go at it, and it it sees you and jerks to the side, so you miss it, but it also misses Simone and goes running past and like gets over by the one that Simone hurt. The other one is coming up behind Justin.
I was doing decent with my stress before this.
Also a miss.
Good times.
I guess you notice it just at the last second, Justin, and you managed to, dodge out of the way or something. Pop out of your stillness. You do a Mr. Miyagi and best defense, no veto. It goes past you. You've now got 3 of these creatures. The 2 new ones are sort of like in front of the wounded one and guarding it. They seem to be a little bit smaller.
Oh, the babies. It's the mama.
Could be babies. Could be. I guess Mr. Ecology would suggest possibly males. Could be sexually dimorphic.
Babies.
Or they could be females, and the male is the big one. Or they might have 3 sexes. You don't know what the fuck this
Hard to
planet.
tell, and I'm not going to go lift its tail at the moment to find out.
Unless the spear follows shortly after.
Right? So you're sort of in a Mexican standoff at this point. What do you want to do?
Yell at it to go away.
Okay, yeah. Make combat check, I guess. What kind of skills do you have with psychology?
Yeah, psychology is the best I can think of. Hey, try and intimidate. All right, let's see if this works. You said combat?
Yeah, so do psychology and choose combat.
This is good.
See if you can intimidate these things away.
Let's go.
Come on.
You can do it.
Ah, it's so fucking close.
Can we just fudge it and be like, yeah?
Yeah. Would you like to describe how you fail to intimidate these creatures?
I'm waving the stick like this in front of me, going, shoot, go away,
Bad dog.
So the rest of you see Francis doing this. I don't know if that gives you the idea that you might be able to do better, or if it gives you a different idea. But I mean, it wasn't a bad idea. It's just ineffective in this case.
What do I have for combat again?
Your combat is.
Oh, that's Ellie's
35.
character.
Not terrible.
But I'm already at 16. Fuck it. All right. We roll. We shouldn't have rolled. We should not have rolled.
What are you doing? Are you actually trying to kill it, or?
She's gonna try and also do the kind of screaming scare tactic and be like, ah! And it just kind of comes out like that. It's not at all intimidating.
Oh boy.
Useful.
Yeah, I have nothing useful.
No psychology to
Start with your spare survivor at them, and then the rest.
I'll give you a +5 bonus. I don't know if that'll help.
Nope,
not
it was a
with
96.
No.
Yeah, so you guys are yelling and screaming at these things, and they they back up a little bit, but they
Right.
sort of like do that little head twitch kind of thing, and they actually spread apart a little bit, like they are kind of like moving into flanking position on you guys, with the larger one that's wounded in the middle, and the other two swinging around to the side.
Get back to back.
Turtle up, back to back.
Cover all angles.
Okay, yeah. Well, then they're going to all three sort of rush at you. And I'm assuming you are like huddling up around Justin and the NPC.
Yeah.
So,
NPC, fight back. Fight back,
one
NPC.
coming from the left will
Yeah.
miss. The one coming in from the right will hit. All right. So who's on the right?
I don't know.
You want me to just randomize it? Let's see here.
Yeah.
Simone. This thing dashes in, as you're distracted by the one that just came in on the left. They're using pack tactics. Boom. Snaps at you with its jaws, and does 2d2 damage. Let's see here. I can roll that.
First blood for Simone.
Yeah, you didn't have a giant space spider try and eat your face.
Oh, why is that?
No.
Or the tiny
That's
lizards.
why I did enter. All right. Yep. 3 health damage as it bites into your calf and then like dances away, kind of like gets back in position. And then the one you wounded comes in a little bit. I'm going to give it disadvantage because of the wound. You actually hurt it pretty badly. So first roll, 15. Second roll. Is that a 92 or a 29? 92. Okay, so it misses. It lunges towards Izay, and you just kind of like bat it off with your shield, and push it away. And they're all sort of like they backed away, and they're still in this sort of spread out position. But you get the sense that like maybe they're considering leaving. They're not like lunging at you or anything. They're just sort of like in sort of like a holding pattern, like they're not sure what to do. You're proving harder prey than they're used to, perhaps.
That's right. We hard.
You want to try to scare them off again?
As a group.
You do have a sling that you can sling rocks with them, at them with from a distance.
Yeah, eat rocks.
You were suggesting, Simone, what as a group all?
Yeah. As a group, slowly move towards wounded one.
Okay.
Okay. Do you all do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. As you move toward the wounded one, the two on the flanking sort of like move in tight against it and like try to put themselves in front of it, and they all sort of back up just a little bit.
Shoot. Go away.
You want to make another combat psychology check?
I mean, yes, but no. Let's see how this goes.
You're not required to, because if you fail, they're stressed. Yeah.
Could I try to make a rim wise if we're like kind of trying to gang up on the one that's wounded and force them to reposition, and then we just kind of keep moving as a unit, like herd tactics, and try to like make them move out of necessity.
Yeah. So a rim-wise combat.
I'll let you try that.
Well, actually, maybe it rim-wise and intellect, because you're really sort of not sort of being imposing or anything, but you're trying to like position yourself good. So you can use it.
Yeah. Okay. Normal. Thank you for that. And hey.
All right. Yeah. So you managed to like move around them and sort of get the 5 of you to back away and disengage from these creatures, and they sort of fall back, and like as you get far enough away, then they back up a little bit, and then they all turn and run off, and you can see the smaller kind of like bumping up against the wounded woman, keeping it in line. You've successfully shifted them off.
Yes.
And it looks like you've got maybe another half hour of walking to get to the settlement. You're close enough now that you can see.
Staggering.
It looks like a a settlement that humans would put out. So unless there's aliens that like to build things basically the same way that humans do, it's probably a human settlement of some kind. It's not huge. There are only a handful of buildings. The larger ones seem to be some sort of industrial setup, maybe a mining facility, maybe some sort of processing facility, or maybe that's just where they keep most of their equipment. But yeah, there's like two large buildings and 2 or 3 smaller buildings. Not much. There's like maybe a vehicle that you can spot, some sort of wheeled, like 6-wheeled, like rover, and just like the lights are on, but you don't see any like motion or people moving around. You can hear off in the distance, like to the right of the city, and a bit closer now, more what sounds like these dog-like creatures howling and baying, and more gunfire. Much closer now. They're close enough now that you can tell it's 2 different kinds of guns. One seems to be an automatic, and the other one, single shot, slower rate of fire, possibly a shotgun.
Maybe we go in a building, we just hunker down or search around, see if they found any other colonists.
See if they've got a fucking first aid kit.
How you holding up, Justin?
I'll be fine. Thank you.
Insight check.
Perception.
Wrong game.
Why don't you all stay out of sight? I'll open door. If it's not safe, well, run when you are able.
Okay, so you go up to the closest building that you can get to. Yeah, like I said, you're about a half hour away, so pretty quickly you get there. You go up to the door. It's not locked. You pull it open, and
locked in the middle of the planet where you're the only people.
It seems to be this is like one of the smallest buildings. This is like a little outbuilding. There's like tools and like equipment and stuff, and there's some sort of storage, just some crates, that sort of thing. It's empty, no one inside.
I'll motion for everybody to come over.
Okay.
Leaning heavily against the poking stick.
Yeah, so you found a small shed, effectively. Storage, some tools. You look around, there's like some old supply crates, food and water supplies. They have been opened and they are mostly empty. Make a luck roll.
All of us?
Just one of you.
Who is feeling lucky?
Whoever's searching around through the
I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It shouldn't give you a stress if you fail. If this is set up. You did not roll a 0.
How do you know?
Oh, I saw the dice.
Yeah, so I think it's you get a 1 if it meets the criteria and a 0 if the number doesn't.
Oh, right. That's how I set up the macro. Yeah.
Sad face.
Gotcha.
Boom.
I was hoping you'd find something like a hand.
Oh, yeah. You rolled a 38. Okay. Yeah. So.
Phone gun.
So yes, no. The crates are empty. It looks like it. You find like one little packet of crisps down in the bottom. It looks like it was like someone emptied it out. The other ones have been opened and used over time. It's been neatly stuff removed from it, and they're like put aside so they can be reused as crates. This last one that you found, though, looks like somebody just like ripped the top off pretty quickly and just took everything out. What do you guys want to do?
Does that look fairly recent? Or is there any way to tell? I don't know if there's dust or sand.
There's like a fine layer of dust over everything in here. So it's all been sitting here for quite a while.
So it's not like somebody made it out to our wreck while we were trekking across the. Yeah. Okay.
No, and like there's no footprints in here or anything indicating someone else has come in here, other than the footprints you're making now. But yeah, there's a lot of dust all over everything.
As we leave, I kind of try and like use the stick to swipe away the footprints.
So it doesn't look like you're going to find anything useful for your supply to feed or water you in here. There are a few tools that you could probably grab that might make better clubs than what you've got, but nothing that would make a better spear.
Is there a screwdriver?
Yes.
I want the screwdriver.
Yeah.
I'll grab a couple of tools that would just be good to have in case there's any mechanical repairs.
Sure.
Blowtorch.
Yeah, with the tools that are in here,
there's going to be a nail gun or something, but
you can maybe fix the life pod that you found if you wanted to do something like that. Yeah, there's the sort of tools that you need. There's mechanical tools, electronics tools, all the sort of tool that you would need if you were setting up a small settlement that needed to be self-sufficient. So you've got a workstation if you want. Where would you like to go from here?
Or like a intended settlement.
Yes.
Okay. Crap. All right. Okay.
And actually, I guess you would find probably like some labels on the food crates, like shipping labels and stuff, with a to address indicating that the settlement is. I did write down a name somewhere. Oh, Savage Mines, a subsidiary of Savage Industries.
Savage. What do we know about Savage?
Classic booty ratchet.
That's a good one, Simon.
What do you mean? It is good song.
Yeah. I can't think of any other songs that say Savage.
Nothing jumps out at you. So maybe just some small. Company. There's the Galaxy, I guess, is littered with smaller companies that go out and try to make a name for themselves. So it could just be some small company that you haven't heard of before. It's definitely not one of the big three, megacorps that run everything.
Luther Corps. Wayne Corps or Wayne Industries.
Yeah. What do you want to do now? Check out one of the other buildings, and if so, one of the smaller ones or one of the bigger ones. You kind of like go left to the two big buildings, or right to the smaller ones, which are probably residential stuff.
Let's maybe raid their shit first before we go in their houses.
So off to the industrial buildings.
Yeah.
Or are we splitting up?
Oh.
I don't think we should split up.
No,
dude,
splitting up.
We split up, our top gets split, alright? Like, we don't make it out.
Okay, yeah, all right. So you head over to the big building that's closest to you. It is sort of like a giant Quonset hut. It's kind of like domed over, but like a half hemisphere or a half cylinder kind of thing. And inside looks like the entrance to a mine shaft. There's a lot of mining equipment around, like big grinders and tractors and things where you can pull stuff out. As you're heading into the building, Justin, you think you spot a shadow like passing between two of the other buildings off, in another direction. Not sure of its size, but possibly larger than the six-legged dog creatures you just encountered. But it's a very quick. It's like
Larger.
They fly now. They fly now.
Did you want to go into the mine? I saw Simone shaking his head no, so I'm assuming.
I read about that in a young adult novel. It doesn't go well. That's where the things they keep under the ground that should not be uncovered are.
Okay. As you're heading back out,
It could be like if this is a mining operation, then maybe these guys aren't the pirates, and maybe we have a chance.
Or this is an empty settlement that got taken over by pirates.
Or this is it? Does it look like people have trafficked to this mine? Like Francis sticks his head in the door. Does it look like there's been foot traffic in here?
not recently. Yeah, everything's covered in dust, just like the small shed. I mean, you would say years, if not decades, of disuse.
Whoever lived here has not lived here for a fucking while. Or done work here in a while.
Ooh, great. Cool.
As you're headed back out of the building, you notice that the door you came in through, which wasn't closed, has sort of swung back, and it looks like something burst its way out through the door. There's like scratch marks or claw marks or something on it, and it's kind of like dented where it looks like something hit it and popped the door open, and that's why it won't close anymore.
Oh my god. So, like, it forced its way in or it forced its way out?
Out.
Oh.
What did I say? You dig too deep, you find that which should not be uncovered.
All right. Anything else you want to do? What's next?
Okay. Maybe we can go to the residential area and find something, but like it might just be that it's pirates and they're not working the mine. But there are people here somewhere.
There's power here. There's gunfire. We can find guns ourselves. We can.
So we're at the point where we're hoping it's pirates.
Better than monster that crawled up out of the deep.
Okay. So do you want to go search the rest of
Here,
the weapons or something? Is that what someone was saying?
Yeah, because
Oh.
maybe that's. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to stay in this building.
Yeah, no, I think we should go to the next one where it's residential. Maybe that's where they keep their storage, their weapons, like, anything we could use. Maybe there's someone there that, we could, I don't know, stick them and be like, tell us everything you know.
More than
Right.
willing to go knock on the first door and go, hey, can I have a cup of salt? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
All right.
popping.
So you head across like the little, we'll call it a quad, like the open area sort of in the middle of the settlement towards the closest building. As you're going across, you hear gunfire again off in the distance and a human scream. It's much closer, coming from like on the other side of the residential buildings. You can't tell if it's like just on the other side or some distance away, but close enough that it's loud, like gunfire. You get across to the building. It's open. You go inside, and it looks like, again, everything's sort of like covered with dust. But it's in a shambles, like someone tossed the place, or maybe packed very quickly and tried to leave.
It's a goddamn ghost town.
Do you want to like look around or go in? Are you going all in, or what's the? This is just like, you open the door and it's like immediately you're like, oh, this place is a mess.
I thought my college dorm looked bad.
I'm a little concerned about gunfire getting closer. Do we try to help? Do we try to hide? Barricade ourselves?
Well, if whatever it was took out a mine door, I doubt the door on this place is going to do much.
That's a good idea. That's a good thought.
Yeah, Francis will, like, while we're debating this, Francis will duck into this room and see if there's anything worth grabbing defensively, or hell, a power bar.
Okay, roll a d8.
All right, this will be fun. Where's just the general dice roll?
At the bottom of the chat, there should be some little icons for the different dice shapes. You can just click the one that's...
Yeah, you see it.
Or you could just type /R space. And,
Yeah, that's effort. I got a 3.
A 3. All right, you find a hand welder.
Yes!
That's like
Ooh.
Hey, I didn't hit the light this time.
right, yeah. So let's see. We can drag that onto your sheet if you want.
I can. I do that.
Yeah. Or you can go into the items and see if you can find it and drag it on your sheet if you want. So that's like on the floor, like kind of like ruffled up against a or under the table or something like that. But while you're searching for this, you also find. Did you find that? No, not in here. Yeah, you find a little hand welder that someone must have dropped in.
How do I add that to my sheet?
So what now?
I got it. We got it. I figured it out. Never mind, we're
I think I set all of the items so that you guys can see them and actually just drag them onto your sheet.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And then it'll show up somewhere in the items tab. Yeah, anybody else looking around? Justin has found a little hand welder. Anybody looking for other things or doing something different?
I want to look for like any clues that tell me like exactly like what these people are running from, like, or like I want to try like piece together exactly like what's happening in Mystery Mine Town.
Yeah, all you can gather from this is that each of the various rooms inside, which are set up as personal living spaces, have been like ransacked in a way that looks like someone packed very quickly and just grabbed stuff that was left to hand and then skedaddled out. There is some.
Is there like any gunfire like in the house, or is it like claw marks, or is there anything visible like marking?
Not in here.
Okay.
Not in this building. Perhaps in one of the others. This one looks like whoever was in here managed to get out.
Okay, maybe we
You
move
find
on to
packets of food, like some MRE type, survival food stuffs that got left behind. A few jugs of water. Looks like they couldn't grab everything, so they were. If they left that behind, then they were in
Quite the
a
hurry.
bit of a hurry.
While everybody's
listening jugs of water, I guarantee the rest of us are cracking into that water right now because we've only been running across the desert all night.
Yeah.
while they're looking, Simone's
Everybody's
just going to be standing guard and like
You're standing guard
Kind of.
outside.
not outside, but like door ajar, trying to like peer head out and just keep an eye and ear out for anything.
Okay. Anybody else? Justin, you outside with Simone, or did you go inside?
He's just following. He's catatonic.
Gotcha. So probably hanging out with Simone then outside. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it takes them however long you want to spend in there, 10, 20 minutes, depending on how thorough you're. You find the little hand welder within 10 minutes. It's not like super hidden away. It really looks like it was sort of dropped in as an afterthought. So if you just want to spend 10 minutes in there, then that's fine.
Francis feels the safest he's felt since he's crashed on this planet. He's putting way too much stock in this hand welder and his inability to use it. Like a security blanket now.
Right? Yeah, just like put it up against it and squeeze the trigger.
Logistically
You
speaking,
get no gunfire. It sounds like it's a little bit farther away from you at this point, and then shifted like around to like kind of like counterclockwise around the little settlement. Erratic and maybe spread out. You hear screams again, and another animal cry that sounds different than the dog creatures. It sounds somehow deeper and more guttural, almost like a bull alligator, in mating season.
Well, that's a horrifying description. Thank you for that.
You ready to move on to a different building?
Make everybody drink a bottle of water, but now he just wants to fuck off.
Here, drink this and run.
Pretty much.
Do you move to the next residential building, or what's the plan?
I think at this point, right? We're trying to find. I presume we're trying to find whatever we can to deal with whatever the hell that is out there, if it comes to us.
Okay, yeah. So you move to the next one. You can see before you get to it that the door has been burst inward. There is a trail of blood
I was right.
that is, I mean, it's somewhat washed away. It's pretty obvious this place doesn't get rain very often. It's more scoured by, by sand. Everything out here is, kind of got that little sandblasted sheen to it. So when I say trail of blood, it's more like, here's a spot that got missed, here's a spot that got missed. And then once you get inside, you can see that, this place is really torn apart and not like, oh, let's pack real quick. Stuff is damaged and trashed, busted apart. Furniture's broken, slammed up against the wall. There's claw marks on the floor. It looks like whatever burst through the door was like too big to fit through the door and like forced its way in. There is, if you spend a few moments looking around, you will find half a skeleton, sort of in the corner at the beginning of this blood trail. And it's been there for a while. It's pretty much full on skeleton. There's a little bit left, but it's dried out, mummified. What little flesh is left, but it looks like maybe there's some sort of insect life on the planet that did its job, or bacteria, or whatever.
Or those damn little lizards.
Yeah, quite possibly, because the front area is like, there's no way it would keep any kind of animal out.
Francis is not going to get in close and try and tell what specifically stripped that thing down to the bone. No bueno.
All right, where are you heading now, or did you want to go in and thoroughly search this area? There's one more building that's smaller, that's probably residential. It could be like the office, space. And then there's the bigger, probably industrial. Actually, looking at it from where you are, it looks like it might be a hangar of some sort. It's got like those doors that kind of, the big doors that slide open, so it could be like where they're keeping vehicles and things.
Justin's going to start walking toward the hangar doors.
Okay.
Francis is going to follow Justin. That seems like a really good idea.
I don't think we should stay with building a big hole.
No.
All right, yeah. So as you get towards the hangar doors, you see more of these like drag trails and like little bits of blood. It's hard to say that there's like a large trail of blood, because again, it's been a long time and things have shifted around. But there's like patches where rock has been laid bare, and you can see like a dusty brown sort of smear on it that like, that could be blood, that could be paint. So you see a few signs like that, but mostly everything's just been like, the wind has scoured things away. At the threshold of the building, though, where you like go into the concrete and stuff, there's definitely like some old blood and stuff. There is a ship, like a small shuttle type that would hold like 6 or 8 people. It looks like it was in the process of being fitted for departure. There is definitely a big blood trail like leading down out of the ramp and away into the back out into the yard. About this time, you hear a shout and a gunfire that's like really close. You turn around to look, and 2 people come out from between the 2 of the buildings where you just came from. One of them is like dragging the other one. They've got one leg that's just like dangling useless, and he's like firing wildly with an SMG that just like runs out of bullets. And this huge creature comes flying out of the shadows and like pounces on them. Much bigger than the dogs that you saw before. It's like the size of a pony, 8 legs, 2 heads.
Slidmere, hey, no, bye.
Start the ship. Start the ship. Start the ship.
Yeah, Justin's moving towards the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Francis is herding everybody towards the ship.
Right. Yeah, this thing hasn't noticed you yet. It's focused on just tearing these 2 what you
Maybe we'll be
presume
lucky and
are-
this little fucking thing will have cryopods. But even
Yeah,
without,
tear these two people apart. It's kind of like feasting on them. Yeah, so you get into the ship, start looking around. It definitely, yeah, it looks like. So you can see like packets of food and water and stuff, some clothing, some things that are like jammed into some cases and like tossed into the luggage rack. Everything seems to be prepped and ready to go. Who wants to try to figure out how to turn this thing on? Assuming that you want to.
Justin would try.
Francis is willing to
Yeah.
assist.
Yeah,
It is
make an engineering check.
engineering and intellect.
You're at least familiar. You're very familiar with very large ships, so you should be
Yeah.
at least moderately familiar with these small
Enough for an
ones.
advantage.
Not enough for an advantage, I don't think.
Okay.
Unless maybe you did your your master's work on shuttles or something. Make me believe it. You're good. Yeah. Yeah. So
You don't
you
need advantage. You're great.
hop into the seat. Start poking around. Oh yeah, here's this, and you hit the start button, and nothing happens. Tap tap tap.
Try it
You
again.
poke around. You look, and you're like, oh, I see. The starter for the engine, the charge is down. We need to replace the battery or whatever the equivalent of. It's been sitting here for a while, and the batteries run down.
Mechanical repair?
Well, you're going to need to actually
Could it be
find your
jury
battery
rig?
and then replace with your mechanical repair.
Oh my god, this is like The Last of Us.
The one thing I did not bring, battery.
Are there
What-
any viable guns in the stash of stuff in the cargo hold
OVA.
that we could use? Okay.
And did we see batteries back in the engineering building or the supply building with all the tools?
Make an intellect check.
And
Duh.
You find a nail gun.
Hey, there's the nail gun I was looking for. Anyone want a nail gun the alien out there that, shrugged off all those bullets?
Maybe in its third gender
you don't
gonads.
remember seeing a battery specifically, but it would be, other than this building, would be the second place to check.
All right. So I failed by 5. What would you count that as? Sanity? For an intellect recollection check?
Right.
Sanity, fear.
Yeah, I guess sanity because it's a mental thing.
Can I see if I maybe remember
Sure.
anything? Me being like, what engine look like? And could Simon maybe give me advantage by me just being like, what would it look like? What would an engine for this ship look like?
No, not engine, battery. Just battery. Yes, it's big square. It has positive and negative, a plus sign, minus sign. It's
Does it
very.
have the Energizer Bunny logo on it, or is it like triple A, like double A?
I don't know what that is. It should be big gray block thing. Looks like guitar amplifier.
Okay.
Sure, that'll give you an advantage.
Beep.
Way to lobby for advantage.
Yes, I needed him to
You
mansplain
did
it to
notice
me.
while you were stepping back out of the way, and the rest of them were like poking around and looking at stuff, and you were trying not to get in the way. There were a stack of some extra batteries sitting over there.
There were batteries in the shed.
Yes.
There were batteries in the shed.
Fuck.
Or at least guitar amps.
Or amps. So who knows how to fly the ship?
No
I
one.
can give it a whirl.
Yeah.
I
Okay, so
landed-
so Justin has to stay here just in case.
Sorry, quiet. I see what you- I just got it.
There you go.
Yeah, Justin is confident that he can at least get it off the ground. He'll bloody well
Okay.
fly it out of here. Whether or not he can get you to safety somewhere else.
Seeing a ship and something he thinks he can control kind of brought him out of his
Stupor.
catatonia. So
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I can go run for it.
You're gonna make a run for the battery.
I'm gonna make a run for the battery.
Is anyone going with her? All right, Francis.
Is that Francis?
I was on mute. I was saying I'll go with her.
That's what I
Okay.
figured.
I'm gonna
Alright.
give
You're gonna stay
Simon
there.
the USB.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to giving this back to you.
I look forward to ripping any insurance company of all they're worth.
All right.
I'm going to hand the nail gun off to somebody else since I've already got the hand welder.
Right.
Hand it to me, brother.
Sure, you're somebody else.
Oh, okay, there we go.
You are a somebody. You are anyways.
All right.
Do you want to make one more check? Somebody else to look for a weapon in there? Simone or Justin or even
Yeah,
Zach?
I'll take a look.
Yeah, sure.
Wow,
Are we both allowed to, or just one? Okay.
While I'm poking around trying to see if there's any other things possibly broken.
Saying.
All right, who rolled the 7? Zay, you
My-
find a laser cutter.
A what?
A laser cutter.
Oh, like a box cutter, but a laser?
Yeah, a bit bigger than that. It's sort of a large laser thing that you can use to
Oh.
cut through lots of different things. It's the sort of thing you would find on a mining facility. It looks like somebody grabbed it.
This is the funniest thing ever. We find the nail gun, the shiv, whatever. I get the fucking lightsaber machine cannon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
roll.
yeah, it sort of looks like a big gun. Here, this is their little picture of it.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Hey.
My girl boss weapon. I
Yeah.
love it.
That was hard to do. Trying to point at it from the wrong side of the. Anyway.
So
And Simone was looking for.
yeah, I rolled really bad. What
Oh,
happened?
you
No,
see
it's
the roll
a
with the
D8.
Oh, oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
I
no
was like,
stress.
Yeah,
level.
no, undo.
Just
Yeah,
ignore
ignore the stress.
what you luckily find. You will find something, but it might just be a banana.
If not, you can just have my nail gun.
You also find a laser cutter.
Oh,
Oh, we're set. We're set.
Okay,
All
so
right.
how are Ize and Francis going to approach this? Are you literally going to just dash across, or are you going to try to sneak or distract this creature that's out there having lunch?
What do you think we should do, Francis?
Is there a back door from here so we can just fuck off without it seeing us immediately?
Is
Make a
it
look.
is it right in front of the door?
No, it's out in the in the courtyard, so like 40 feet away.
I mean, we
Scooby-Doo
could
the shit the long way around.
So you want to go around that way, just circumvent the whole courtyard?
Yeah. It's eating. It's distracted. We can go that way.
Make a luck check to see if the back door is open. If there is a back door.
All right. We'll luck check real quick.
I'm so glad I added luck to the game.
Nope.
There is a back door, but it's blocked. Something has fallen over in front of it, and it would take you a while and a lot of noise to open it up. So it looks like you'll have to
Okay.
sneak out the front.
Francis, here's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
We are going to try to sneak past this thing. If one of us does not quite sneak so well, you take the laser gun and the other person runs.
well, you can both have a laser cutter.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Simone's going to give up his laser cutter.
Cool. I'll hand over the hand welder then.
Okay.
Where did I leave it?
Okay. Francis, and so when we peel off from the ship a little bit, she's like, do you understand?
No, I understand.
Leave me behind. If,
Same.
okay?
Someone's got to get
And-
off this road.
Become rich as fuck.
Oh, hell yes.
Live to be rich.
We're going to fucking name a whole damn wing of the university after me after this. Come on,
Yeah.
let's go.
All right.
Easy do.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Deep breath.
How do we get? Okay, so you guys start sneaking out,
Mhm.
and you're trying to be careful. It's still mostly distracted. You get about halfway across the courtyard whenever it like looks up, scans around, and clocks you. But you notice it starting to lift its head before it sees you. So what do you do?
Anything we can immediately hide behind?
Now you're out in the middle of the depending on your route. Were you trying to cut across the yard, or were you sticking to the perimeter and trying to find hiding?
We're trying to stick to the perimeter, like sneak about.
Okay, yeah. Then you could duck behind like the rover.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That you
We're behind
spotted.
the rover.
All right, yeah. So then it's like, and it like kind of walks toward the rover a little bit. You can see it like sniffing the air, and then like these little flaps come out from behind the two heads, and there's a squealing noise. It's like right on the edge of your hearing. You can like feel your teeth vibrating, and it like doesn't see anything, and it's now sort of moving toward the back of the rover. If you stay where you are, it will find you as it goes around it. Make a fear save.
Yeah, no, this is the perfect time for fear save.
Oh, guys!
Meanwhile, Simone, if you're standing guard, you'll see this thing. Stand up and like look over towards them and everything that I just described, and start moving in their direction in case you wanted to do anything.
Shit, no.
Who has
Holy shit.
Who has the sling currently?
Whoever wants it.
I would like to try the same trick again and try to make some kind of sound, but instead I will aim for one of the buildings that is as far away from the hangar and as far away from Ize and Francis as possible, so that this rock definitely makes a sound.
Gotcha. Okay. You're literally trying to hit the broadside of a barn, but it's far away, so make your combat check normal.
Okay. And would this, by chance, be... let me get on my character sheet. Would this be a body save? No, it's a combat roll. Never mind.
Yeah.
Body, yada, yada,
Yaddy,
yada.
yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. No!
Oh, come on.
Can I
You
put?
judge,
I
and
can't.
it's kind of and like flies over the building. You put a little too much moxie on it.
Oh, wait, we're allowed to push things, right?
Can he push?
If I'm at
You can
20
push if you
stress
want,
already?
yeah. Thank you for reminding me about the pushing. Yeah, if you want to push.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
like to push. It's all or nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Can I also push my fear save? Or is that only on rolls?
I don't know. Were we allowing pushes on saves? I think we were. Yeah, you can push the fear save.
Okay.
But bear in mind, if you fail, you're going to take 2d4 stress.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
1d4 stress.
2d4 stress.
all right. Show me my
Oh, the push
fear.
failed as well? Okay, so another 1d4 stress for Simone.
So 3d4 altogether.
You managed to not be feared. So
So
you
Simone's rolling.
have a moment where, like, of that just like frisson of like every the adrenaline spike, and you're just like, keep it under control. It hasn't seen me. Simone, unfortunately, yeah, your rock goes flying. Doesn't mean you can't try again. Does mean that so the system would have already charged you for 2 stress. Go ahead and roll a d4 minus 1 to see.
Is it 1d4 minus 1 or
1d4? Yeah.
oh, okay.
I misspoke when I said 2d4. That was from the damage from the heat.
I see. So minus 2. Okay. So 3 minus 2, that'd be
3 minus 1. Yeah.
1. And
Because
that,
when you failed the second time, it automatically gave you the 1, but because of the
Okay.
push mechanic, it's actually 1d4. So
Okay, so minus
Take 2
1
more.
to body? Like,
How many? Two.
hold my
Yeah,
arm out of the socket or
Yeah,
something?
because you're doing
That makes sense.
a body thing. All right, so Simone tried to help you guys out. This thing is slowly moving towards the rover. You're on the other side of it. It hasn't seen you yet, but you have a sense that maybe it sensed you in some way. So you're going to try to like scooch around the back and time it so that it.
Yeah.
And then what? Make a break for the shed or try to hide somewhere else?
I think we got to go for the shed at this point.
Break for the shed. Okay, give me a speed check.
All right.
Anything you can
Francis?
add to that?
You got me.
If you can think of something relevant.
Psychology to convince myself I know how to get there.
Botany to jump over a bush.
Unfortunately, no bushes. There's just like some tumbleweeds that go by. Psychology to work yourself up. I'll go with that.
All right, cool. I'll take it. Take literally anything I can get.
You could add rimwise.
Rimwise? All right.
To, like keep your head cool and
Ooh.
find the right path.
Come on.
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you guys like squirt out behind it as it goes around the front, and you go like sliding right into the shed through the door, and you get it closed just as it comes around the side. And it's like you can tell like looking through the crack in the door that it like heard something because it's like pointing those little weird flaps like right at your door, and like moving its head back and forth, sniffing at the air.
So just one head? Because earlier I thought I heard you say 2 heads.
And it starts like skipping along the path that you just ran, and it's like kind of moving towards you, snip, 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 and then like back. So it's like it can smell your path, but obviously it doesn't have like the best sense of smell. So it's not like just bolting right towards you, but it's definitely following your trail.
So while we each grab a battery, because obviously we're each going to grab one since there's a pile of these fuckers.
Right?
Is there any like oil or anything like smelly that we can dump behind us to fuck with the scent, or just let them?
Pretty much all that kind of stuff. So everything you maintain. So you've got motor oil or the equivalent, and
let's Molotov cocktails.
So you're going to douse yourselves in machine oil. Is that what you said?
No, we're going to douse our trail in machine.
The trail, okay. We're going to douse ourselves in oil and light ourselves on fire.
I mean, look, okay, so when I fail the sanity check in a minute, that's what's going to happen. But we're not there yet.
So,
foreshadowing.
All right. So you've got each a battery. You've got a jug of oil. You can like cut your laser cutter, like hang it from a strap on your back. You can see through the crack in the door that it's only like about 20 feet away and facing the door. And there's only one door. What's your plan?
Rock, paper, scissors?
I got the oil, you don't go. And he's going to stick the laser cutter out the door and blast the thing.
Okay, make a combat check. Stick the laser cutter out the door and shoot the thing. It has a long range, and you can hit it from where you are.
Yeah. All right. So do I add anything to the combat check for this, or?
No, it's just combat.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you had there's a gun thing, but nobody has that.
All right. Well, let's see how bad this goes.
You did it.
Gotta be shit.
Woo! Not a crit, but definitely a hit. Roll a D100.
Okay.
A D100.
Hit him with your words.
There we go. That's a big number.
Ooh.
What was it?
Big number, right?
36 or 56?
Right. Yeah. So you hit the thing like right between like the two heads, and it just
so it is two heads
into its neck, and just one of the heads just sort of falls off, and it's like screaming. There's blood spurting everywhere. It falls over into the ground, just like pumping blood out. There's this horrible squeal as the flaps behind its head go, and you have a moment to run out if you.
Let's go on.
Go. All right. Go back to the battery. You grab the battery and go back to the shed. You managed to probably kill this thing. It's not looking good.
Francis, you fucking G.
They will never believe this at the academic board, but fuck them.
Do you want to go back and cut off a trophy?
No! I'm gone!
All right.
We'll corroborate our
So
story.
you don't know how many of these things there might be out there, so
Yeah,
you're still
right, as
feeling
we-
the
A
pressure.
goddamn knight with a laser cutter.
Somebody make a jury rigging, engineering, mechanical something.
This is what I'm here for. I have a mechanical repair skill.
There you go. Make a mechanical repair. Let's see how quickly you can get this done. If you fail, you're still going to get it done. It's just going to take a long time.
All right. Come
This
on.
mechanic repair plus speed then?
Yes.
33 success. Oh, critical success. Yeah, you like walk right up to this thing. You're like, oh yeah, here's the old battery. You throw that out. Slip this one in. Let's go ahead and stick the second one in too, just in case. And get them all hooked up. And, suddenly the panel lights up in front of Justin. Everything's like starting to work, and the little message comes up. Hello, Captain. Are you prepared for takeoff? And you can run through the flight check as best you can. There's a little manual you can find. Meanwhile, I guess Izay and Francis are watching for any more of these creatures. You do see some large shadows moving, in the distance, coming toward the building, like they maybe are investigating this thing's death cries. And then Justin, you get everything ready to go, and it's time to close the back hatch. Would you like to, ask them to raise their tray tables and put their seats in that position? Yeah. So, you get this thing up, and it's sort of hovering it. You've got to back it out of the hangar, or at least get it up and rotate it around and get it out. So it's a little bit tricky. Give me an intellect check to figure out the controls and get everything sorted.
Could we give an advantage by being to the left, to the left, to the left, right, right?
I have. Would this ship be using artificial intelligence?
There's a rudimentary one that would be helping. So yeah, take advantage from turning that on. Yeah, that's a good point. Because it is sort of like a commercial, a consumer grade shuttle.
Yes, because it might be something like the AI helps me stabilize and take.
Right. Yeah. You push the stabilization button.
Piece of cake.
Nice. Yeah, you managed to get it out without too much trouble. And as you're pulling out of the ship, two of these other large creatures come running out, and they're headed straight for the ship, they're gonna body check it or something. They'll smash into it. You feel the thing shudder, but you managed to get up, get it up and off the planet. I assume you want. What's your goal? You're in flight now. Do you want to fly somewhere else on the planet? Go up into space? This is not exactly a long haul ship,
right?
And you still don't really know where the hell you are. But at least you're off the planet, and nothing is trying to eat you.
Does it have a functioning computer that could tell us where the fuck we are?
It
with
does.
more details?
It does. If you'd like to take a look at it, you take a few moments to start poking around now that you're up in space, and this system does have a name.
Orbit.
It's got some numbers and shit, but then it looks
right.
like it's actually been claimed and named by the Savage Minds company. The system name is Clarabelle. The gas giant you're in orbit around is Bella, and the moon that you've just lifted off from is Belle's boy. So, apparently somebody in Savage Industries loves Clarabelle. Named a system after her.
Or hates her.
But yeah, you kind of know roughly where you are, and you can get yourself oriented in terms of where you should be going. Send out a signal, that sort of thing. This ship does not have any cryo function, so it's it's sort of strictly a short hop kind of thing, like a shuttle maybe that
is there
take up to a larger ship.
It's a shuttle designed for inter-system transport.
Right.
That would imply that there's something else in this damn system to go to.
Yeah.
Savage.
Either that, or a large capital ship came and dropped you off, and then left.
There's still the pods that are up here. I don't know how we'd connect to it, but
There's also the debris from the other ship.
I don't know how that'll help
make it
us,
dangerous to fly. You do manage to avoid that mostly on your way up. It's sort of like on its way orbiting around the moon.
What about setting out an SOS signal?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep. So you definitely do that. You can check out the other moons and all that kind of stuff. But we'll assume at this point that you managed to. Well, let's not assume that you managed to survive. Let's just roll credits as you escape the planet while you're trying to figure out what the hell to do
Alien
next.
1.
And there's
Right? Yeah. Prologue is just a body of skeletons drifting in space later. But
instead of fading to black, there's just a shape that moves in front of the camera with a chittering noise. Like,
right? Yeah. Space whale! Ah!
yeah. Space
my name
orca.
is Jonah. How you doing?
All right. Congratulations on one-shotting the
Oh, we not dead.
giant.
Thank you.
And we got a +1.
Yeah, we have one dude.
Survivor round.
Yeah.
We did it, guy. And you know what? Did I even kill 96 people? Probably not, because they're still alive in space somewhere.
That's what you think.
For now, okay?
You blurt that out. Go, wait, what? Credits. Like that's the after credit scene.
And
Yeah,
Simon
that's
does give.
the mid-credit roll. He's
Oh,
explaining to everyone how she ejected those 2 rings, and they're still floating out there.
You should have this back. I think you'll need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to erase the 4-ring thing from this, but
That
aside from
I do not know what you're talking about. I have no clue, no idea, never
Yeah,
saw,
notice
never
any of it?
heard. I cannot only count to 4.
yeah,
And then the mid credits roll. That was a great mid credits scene. Oh, here, you want this back? Yeah. Nice. Incredible. I cannot believe that Justin survived.
Francis, you really locked in at the end there, and Justin,
I-
way to pull through, man.
Right?
I
I tried
did
to be good. I was
expect
like
that
rolling the
you were
D4,
supposed
like who's
satisfied.
it attacking? Oh, nope, not Justin again. And then the one time it attacks Justin, it misses.
I was waiting for something to creep in the ship or
The
something.
dice
Right?
took
I
a
mean, just
wild
one hit,
spin.
you'd have been gone.
I was so worried because, like, he was just like in a stupor. I was like, I think he's just waiting to die. Like, I think he's just like
He
kind
was.
of like,
He was. Yeah. He was basically just looking for a place to crawl in and die.
and
then when
we
you said-
dragged him.
And then when you saw the hangar, that was like something I know. This
Yeah,
is
no,
something
that
I
makes
can.
total sense.
And it like inspired him to like, like I gotta survive. Yeah, he was done. He was done. He was just following around.
I could tell. Yeah, you're like, I'm just wandering it. Yeah. I've seen that character before, the one who's just like waiting. And that's always the ones that somehow managed to survive.
Right?
And like the thing is, when I started in on the session, I was like, Isa's probably like, you know what, fuck it, like, Justin is probably gonna die, like, and he's not fighting for it. And then Simone just keeps coming in with like these few moments of like tender care of like, I'm looking out for Justin, I'm giving Justin my thing, I'm protecting Justin. And I was like, I can't help but think that Ise in this moment of like extreme weakness and like survival cannot help but be inspired. And like when Simone has to go protect Francis, she's like, now I gotta go protect Justin.
You know?
And I was like, I didn't even realize it was gonna happen.
Oh, why'd you make me care?
I was like, ugh. Every time I come here, I was like, she doesn't care about these people. I was like, girl, you survived the spider cave with them. Those are your homies, okay?
Right?
Pretty much, right?
Kindness wins the day.
Kindness
Ride or
won.
die.
Kindness won. And then kindness won because Isa's like, you know what? Simone's not doing good and Justin's not doing good. And I am not an essential part of this ship coming off the ground.
Kindness and laser cutters win the day.
Francis
Right? Yep.
with the
Laser
OG
cutters.
shot.
Oh my god. I like combat is my worst stat, right? Body is my worst save. I'm sitting there waiting to fail this and become two-headed monster chow.
Right?
And
Well,
instead
that's why I wanted to set it up so that
That's great.
that you were civilians, people who didn't have the usual sort of stuff that folks even in Mothership that doesn't keep them alive. So that,
Oh.
and see what would happen if civilians crashed on a crappy ass monster infested planet.
Dude, it was the
Apparently
shot of a
engineering
man
wins.
ready to die.
We'll figure out how to use that botany.
You know,
We'll get there, we'll
Bonnie
get there.
Bonnie will
I was,
forever
I
be the
was
sore
like,
point.
just like the shirt, the helmet with the plant, just that kind of dead. I
Yeah.
came prepared.
Like, honestly, if we ever did like a 2-shot to this, my botany better have given me something beautiful. And I deserve to have AI at
That
this
actually
point.
brings up a question I wanted to ask.
Mm.
Given that you know the fate of the pirate ship, would you be interested in playing the pirates on the ship and telling the story of how it got destroyed?
That'd be fun.
Oh.
Possibly,
Wait, so
yeah.
that was the pirate ship, like the everything
I
that
thought
blew
that
up.
was going to be
The
the case.
brief that you flew through was the pirate ship you were supposed to meet up with, and they were going to like take you in. Something happened, and the ship exploded.
Great, our jailers died before we got there, guys. We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Would you like to find out? Would you like to play through that, knowing that you're going to die this time?
Doomed
They get it
narrative.
to be
You
thematically
know you're going to die.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'd have to see. I'd have to see because low key my schedule's getting kind of busy. But I think that's a really cool idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, put something together, and then we can get the four of you back in,
Yeah.
and you can be pirates.
Yar.
Yarr.
You know,
Yarr.
stowaways, or we'll come up with
Evil
something.
easy.
Oh, we can be bad guys.
We big guy. Big guy.
That way, the audience will be happy when we die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, this little
Give them
scummy
something
shit.
to look forward to.
All right, boys.
This was really
Which
fun,
one
guys.
of you set off the reactor?
I was quite convinced we were all gonna die today. And when we heard it was finale, I was like, all right, wrap it up.
Mhm.
Four coffins.
Yeah, I did
But-
not. I wasn't sure more than one of you was going to make it off the planet. I figured one of you might survive.
And we came out with more than one person on that shit.
You got lucky and found the laser cutter. I think that was
Two
Laser
cutters.
cutters.
Yeah.
Now we just have a
You know,
spare.
there's like nail gun, hand welder. I had a revolver that you can find, but it was like, yeah, we'll just have them. We'll just make a little list. They can roll and see what they would find in a facility.
Laser.
All right. It's been really fun, guys. I got to get rolling, though.
All right. Good night. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
All right.